Then everyone saw secret reason Trump hired her. Hope Hicks was now given a permanent position as White House Communications Director after she was named the interim communications director after Anthony Scaramucci was fired. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee confirmed this to NBC News on Tuesday, and like frickin' clockwork, all the fake feminist liberals started attacking this amazing and hardworking woman. According to these liberals, Hope Hicks is too inexperienced or has a sexual relationship with our president. These people are seriously sick. Here is the one thing that all these stinking liberals missed, though. Most of Trump's communication staff is now female. The media won't show this, though. Share this everywhere to support Trump and his beautiful team of professional women. Liberals absolutely hate beautiful, successful women, and especially if they are conservative. Let's welcome Hope Hicks to her new position and show her some love. Spread this everywhere. Paul Ryan just bent the knee. Look what he just sacrificed for Trump today. A new poll came out by the Center for Security Policy and Eagle Forum, which says that 63% of voters think that it's time to replace Paul Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. 43% also said that Republican leadership in Congress supports the swap. 63% of voters want new Republican leadership, including 68% of Republican voters, according to the study. Now, look what Paul Ryan said today. He seems to have gotten the message finally. He is finally sacrificing his stupid dignity to get the MAGA agenda done. That's good news. It only took about 8 months for him to come around. Speaker Paul Ryan, this week the House is going to vote on all of the appropriation bills. This week the House is going to vote on all of the appropriation bills before the fiscal year deadline. IT hasn't been done in a long time. So the House of Representatives is doing its work. The House of Representatives is doing its job. And the House of Representatives is bringing all of these appropriation bills on budget, on time, and that is an historic achievement. We are fully funding the president's request to build a wall along the southern border. Share this everywhere and let's show the world that Paul Ryan is behind the border wall. Let's get this thing built. It's time to make Trump's agenda reality. It's time to make this country great again. Sneak attack: McConnell put a nasty surprise in new debt deal that Dems are gonna hate. Y'all should know by now that I, Danny Gold, give credit when and where credit is due. And boy does Mitch McConnell deserve some major credit for that genius counter move he just pulled on the Dems today. Remember that debt deal the Dems made with Trump for hurricane funding? Well, Mitch slipped a little surprise in at the very end that they are not gonna be happy about. At the last minute, Mitch used his position as Speaker of the House to slip in a provision that bumps the debt ceiling negotiations back a whole year. That means Trump gets hurricane funding and the Dems got nothing worthwhile. Senator McConnell actually went and bragged about his big move to the New York Times. Since I was in charge of drafting the debt ceiling provision that we inserted into the flood bill, we likely, almost certainly, are not going to have another debt ceiling discussion until well into 2018. One of the advantages of being the majority leader is you control the paper, McConnell bragged to the Times. I wrote it in such a way that it does not prevent what is frequently done, which is the use of extraordinary measures. The minority leader and his team were trying to get us not to write it that way, but I did write it that way and that is the way it passed. Seems like this is a big win for Republicans who were hoping not to have more debt ceiling negotiations until after the 2018 elections. Still, President Trump has yet to comment on McConnell's move. If y'all are glad that Mitch McConnell actually did something as the majority leader for a change, let him know it by getting this shared out on FB, Twitter, and whatever else you can think of. Scam alert: a major credit company has just been hacked and millions of people might get scammed. Credit reporting service Equifax has been under intense scrutiny in the aftermath of its revelation that their security systems had been breached. The cyber attack occurred on July 29, but it wasn't announced until Thursday. The attack compromised more than 143 million customers and their private information. In an era where many corporations have been victims of hacking, Equifax is under fire not for allowing the breach but how the company has handled it. 3 company executives including CFO John Gamble sold stocks in the company 3 days after the breach happened. The executives, who claim to have not received information of the breach at the time they sold the stock, made a combined total of $1.8 million. What's worse is that it took over a month for them to go public with the information, preventing millions of people from securing their identity from theft and fraud. Equifax said in its formal statement that hackers accessed social security numbers, names, birth dates, addresses and in addition to the credit billing information of its customers. If it turns out that the executives who sold their stock had knowledge of the breach, they could be charged with felonies for engaging in illegal stock practices. Equifax shares tumbled 13% in the hours after their announcement, meaning the executives Gamble, Joseph Lauren and Rodolfo Ploder avoided losses in the transaction. Equifax is doing its best to remedy the situation, but even that effort has fell short. The company created a website to allow its customers to find out if they were affected by the hack, but it doesn't offer much assistance. Not only does the new page require that you give Equifax more of your personal information, but it shows a basic thank you screen at the end, which means it's simply a customer service inquiry form. CEO of Equifax Rick Smith released a video where he formally read a statement from a teleprompter which seemed to rub some people the wrong way. You can see the statement here. You can check their website to see if you have been affected here. Share this so that everyone can be protected. Thank God. GOP representative just handed Trump the most incredible gift that will finally end Russia investigation. Republican California Representative Dana Rahabacher just made President Trump a very happy man. With an unprecedented display of dedication and determination, Rahabacher traveled the world to find the real truth behind the never-ending Russia allegations. It turns out the evidence America has been waiting for was sitting in the Ecuadorian embassy in London with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. When Rahabacher finally returned home, he immediately told the Daily Caller that Assange promised him information that would reveal who is actually behind the DNC hack. Rahabacher continued with an assurance that he safeguard the evidence and bring it directly to Trump. It is my understanding from other parties who are trying to arrange a rendezvous with myself and the president, it is being arranged for me to give him the first-hand information from Assange, Rahabacher told CNN. President Trump expressed a similar excitement and said the United States is being given information that will be of dramatic importance. But more importantly, our commander-in-chief will finally have room to breathe and do his job. These allegations have been laughable since day one, and President Trump has handled them as such, but it still doesn't help our country move forward and grow if our leaders are constantly defending their word and character. As an American citizen, I want to applaud these brave men for finding the truth. And if you're proud of this amazing moment, share this with the world now. Sources: dailycaller.com. Congress stunned. Trump just gave all Americans this unbelievable gift and the media wants it buried. President Trump has always been a man of action. Whether it be business, family, or running the nation, our commander-in-chief has shown a desire to think outside the box and always move forward. With that being said, imagine how frustrating it must be to deal with Congress. But even more frustrating is the fact that President Trump and his administration are trying to give this country a gift. Something that could benefit the United States for decades and help regular, everyday families. Good thing for us, Trump will not sit by and watch this incredible achievement slip through the cracks. The approval process for the biggest tax cut and tax reform package in the history of our country will soon begin. Move fast, Congress, tweeted President Trump on Wednesday. But Trump is doing far more than tweeting to get the package successfully approved. Just last week, President Trump reached out to Democratic members of both the House and the Senate, working to push a bipartisan plan that both sides of the aisle could support. The White House asserted that President Trump is willing to do whatever it takes to get the reform passed. We learned this summer that keeping 50 or 52 Republicans in the Senate is not something that's reliable, White House Legislative Affairs Director Mark Short said on Tuesday, referring to the Senate's failure to pass a significant replacement to the Affordable Care Act. Despite promises and commitments they've made to the American voters since 2010, we don't feel like we can assume we can get tax reform done strictly on a partisan basis, so it would be wise for us to try and reach out and earn the support from Democrats as well, he concluded. As expected, Trump has no issue with targeting senators that oppose him, and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin echoed that the president and his administration are committed to passing some sort of legislation by the end of 2017. We're going to get this done by the end of the year, Mnuchin told CNBC about the measure. The administration is super focused. That's what you get with a forward-thinking president who carefully picks his staff. This nation needs doers, not talkers, and issues like these show the American people who really wants to work for them. I want a leader who fights for my quality of life and growth of this country. If you want the same, now is the time to stand tall with President Trump to make sure these politicians do what's right for all of us. Share this now with everyone you know so Trump sees our support. Sources: dailycaller.com